Hey, what's up, cash flow hackers? It's Chris, and we are continuing the Understanding Your Money series. I'm talking about the 4% rule in this. Now, there's a lot of elements. I think a lot of people have heard of the 4% rule. A lot of people don't understand really how it plays into what your real needs are from a retirement planning or financial freedom seeking journey, right? And so what I've done in this video is I just spent time going through really, how do I put it? Really just kind of connecting on how the 4% rule meshes in with some other principles and how it impacts you, and ultimately helping you have more clarity about what you need to do to get to where you want to go. So enjoy, and I'll see you in there. Hey, what's going on, cash flow hackers? It's Chris with Life 180, and for this video, we're going to be continuing the series helping you understand your money. And today we're going to be talking about the 4% rule. Now, if you haven't yet, I just got done, literally just got done filming this video on the rule of 72. And if you didn't watch that video, my encouragement to you is to go back right now. Like literally, go back, watch that video. I'll put the thing right up here. Go click on that card right there. Watch that video, or is it there? I don't know where it is. It's on one of the corners up here. But watch that video, understand the rule of 72, and then come back here, because this stacks on top of that video. It'll make a lot more sense if you watch that video first. And so check this out, the 4% rule. The reason, if you remember, is with the rule of 72, we talked about the concept of how long does it take money to double, what happens with inflation, and how that plays in. Now, obviously, what we need to be thinking about is when you understand the rule of 72, you understand how much money it takes for you to live, right? Like, what is the purchasing power of your money? And so now when we start talking about the 4% rule, we're starting to talk about, like, how can you safely distribute money? So here's the deal. There's a thing called Monte Carlo. Financial advisors all over the world, they utilize what's called Monte Carlo simulations. Monte Carlo simulations, there's a guy also, his name is Dr. Wade Pfau. He's a financial expert that gets into a lot of details. The 4% rule is basically saying, whatever amount of money that you have in a retirement account, you're able to predictably, safely withdraw, distribute 4% of that account value without running significant risk of running out of money, right? Most people don't realize what that means for their retirement needs, for their financial freedom needs. And it's one of the reasons I'm so passionate about cash flow investing. We're going to save that for another video, because it kind of helps you get around this. But as you continue the series here, you'll start to learn this stuff. But the bottom line is, when you understand the rule of 72, and we got there, and you said, in the past example I used, okay, your lifestyle is $45,000, and that's year one, right? And then year, oh boy, let me zoom out and figure it out. Year 18, it was a year 18. So at year 18, that's when it's gonna double, right? And so at year 36, it's gonna double again. So at year 36, it doubles again. So basically what this is saying, if your lifestyle right now is $45,000 a year, compounding works against us. We all talk about the power of compound interest, right? We all talk about how it can work in our benefit. Well, guess what? Because of inflation, because of the way the rule of 72 impacts inflation and our purchasing power of our money, we're losing value. That means compounding is working against us, meaning, check it out, meaning 18 years ago, 22,500 would keep us at today's, what you needed to earn to basically have the lifestyle of $45,000 today. It's just the way it's actually not that clean, because the last 18 years we've had a lower inflationary environment, and now we're experiencing a higher inflationary environment. But since 1971, the average rate of inflation is 4%. So we're thinking long term, we're thinking over a career here. But the bottom line is we have this 180 number. And so I'm looking at this from an average home. This is like an average income kind of perspective. This is what average will be 36 years from now, if all things stay equal. So the question is, how much money do you need? When we start thinking about the 4% rule, when we start thinking about doing these sorts of things, The question is, how much money do you need at retirement? Well, if you're like, say, 30 years old right now and you're looking to save for the next 36 years and retire at 65 or 66 years old, that means if you are earning 45, you need 180. That has a massive impact on how much money you need saved. So check this out. I'm going to just do a little math here and say, okay, if you utilize the 4% rule and we know we need 45,000, and let's just say, and by the way, I'm going to move forward with this as if Social Security doesn't exist, because listen, to me, I don't ever want to bank on something that I don't control. There's a lot of people that believe Social Security is going to be there no matter what, that it'd be political suicide for it to go away. I don't want to have that argument. If you believe it, work that, like back that out of your own numbers. I'm going to talk about it like it doesn't exist. Once again, this is just a concept, the principle, the math, how this works, how to set your own expectations. If you believe Social Security will be there, and for instance, if you said, hey, I think out of this 45,000, I'm going to make, I'm going to get 15,000 a year in Social Security. So, okay, make that number 30, and then 30 to 60, 60 to 120, make this 120 your number. I don't care. That's not the point of this. The point of what I'm doing is trying to teach you a principle, and I'm going to talk about it like Social Security is not going to be there, because I don't ever want to bank on Social Security. So here's the crazy part. So if right now though you needed to retire, you want to retire, how much money would you need in an account to be able to take 4% out per year and get this $45,000 a year number? The answer is $1,125,000. So why? Let's work it backwards. If you go 4% of this, that brings you to $45,000. Okay? So what this does, if you look at this, what this does is it allows you to take this money out, because there's going to be years that the stock market performs better. There's going to be years that it performs worse. And the 4% rule is the safe number. Now, here's the thing. If you understand the concept that the power of inflation is going to drive up the demand, 4%, if you're only taking 4% of this account, your income needs are going to go up. Your lifestyle is the demands on that are going to go up. So for instance, think about this. Think about how this works with the rule of 72. I didn't get there. You're working, you hit retirement age at age 66, okay? You live. People are retiring and living for a long time, right? I mean, the average person's living over 20 years in retirement, right? So think about this. You live for 18 years, so by the time you're 84, it's going to take $360,000 with inflation at the average rate of inflation of 4% that we've experienced since going off the gold standard in 1971. Think about that. It's mind-numbing. So this is stuff that you have to account for. Very few people account for these variables when they're looking at, their financial plan. A lot of people say, and this is where I have a huge problem with Dave Ramsey, is he goes, oh yeah, you will need to become a millionaire. Millionaire doesn't mean anything at this point in time, because the bottom line is, yeah, it might mean something to you today, but you can't plan for today because you want your life to get better, and the variables that are going to go into your success, you're not in control of, and they're not working in your favor. You can see you already need 180, and so let's take a look at the 180. So at the 180, and this is at the $45,000 level, right? 45K. And so if we go to the 180K income level that we need to meet, we need $4,500,000. Now, here's the problem. I talk to people about this all the time, is that your subconscious is a really powerful thing in your life, right? It just is. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right either way, right? Can't remember who said that. But whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So when you look at the 4% rule and you look at the fact that you need to count for inflation, and that's your income, and with the 4% rule, you need, 4.5 million. I don't know anybody subconsciously that's going to believe making $45,000 a year right now that they're going to be able to save $4.5 million. I just don't know anybody with any level of intelligence that believes they're going to be able to pull that off without taking massive amounts of risk. in speculation to get there. But then if you do that, there's a chance that you wind up with nothing, right? Like, I mean, you could get there, but it's like swinging for the moon. You know what I mean? And so that's really important to understand. And so what we talk about here is like, you need to understand and you need to have a system for saving. I'm not going to get into all the details right now, but the purpose of this video and the last video is to get you to understand the rule of 72, the 4% rule, how they impact you. And so just to give you the little summary here, the 4% rule is saying that is the safe distribution you can take from a retirement account when you're in your distribution years, right? Remember, when you're working, I'm going to use these phrases a lot, this terminology a lot. When you're working, you're in the accumulation years. When you're retired, you're in the distribution years, right? You're no longer producing, you're no longer being productive. You're now hopefully being able to live off, your savings, live off of the planning and the hard work that you did putting stuff away. But the bottom line is you need to take into account these important variables. Now, I'm going to do more videos because I want to break this down into bite-sized chunks, but you need to understand the rule of 72. Once again, go watch it if you haven't. And then you need to understand the 4% rule. These two rules combined together are going to completely change the way that you think about what you need to do with your money. So if you have any questions, comment in the comment section below. If you haven't already, make sure you share this out, because this, honestly, even if it's just the last two videos, people need to understand this stuff in a really, really deep way. I know it's not super fun. I know it's not like the sexiest thing to talk about, but it might be one of the most important things people can talk about, because without financial freedom, there is no freedom. And I promise you, you're not going to get to reach financial freedom unless you understand these concepts, these basics. And so comment in the comment section below if you haven't already. If you have questions, subscribe, hit the bell. That way you're notified every time I launch a new video. And until next time, until tomorrow, have a blessed, inspirational day. We'll see you then.